Video recording for EDUKWEST is provided by Whatburner. Take Skype video to the next level. Record, edit, upload at vodburner.com. So hi everyone and welcome. This is EDUKWEST, and as every week we are on the search for better education. Today I'm joined by Michael Koetting. He is the CEO of a very fresh and I think innovative startup called HootMe. Michael, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so first question right away. Who are you and what are you doing with HootMe?
Well, again, I'm Michael Koetting, CEO and co-founder of Hoot.me, and I'm one of 3 co-founders here at HootMe, and we're all college students, so we're all university students at the University of Texas in Austin. And literally, we were up late one night, stuck on a calculus problem, and we thought there's got to be a way that I could reach out to my friends and other people who are working on this. I know there's another 100 kids working on this homework right now, because it was one of those large seminar classes. And we said, we know all these kids are on Facebook too, but we have no way of finding out who on Facebook is actually working on calculus, nor do we have the collaboration tools to really engage with them. So we said, well, hey, let's go build out a product and maybe develop a business plan around this, and enter into a couple business plan competitions and go from there. And as we started doing it, it turned into something a little bit more than a business plan competition. A lot of people were very excited about the idea, liked it a lot, and before you knew it, we had already incorporated into a company, which disqualified us from the business plan competition, and kind of the rest is history. It was one thing after another, which was exciting.
Would you say this is typical for doing something in online math education at the moment, that it's sort of a hot topic, or do you think I don't want to say hype, but do you think the interest came more because it is Facebook, but you give a new, let's say, a new meaningful touch to Facebook?
Yeah, I think just the fact that over 90% of the kids worldwide are on Facebook, so all those students use Facebook on a day-to-day basis, and many of them use Facebook for studying. So I think just the fact that we were taking something that has traditionally been built in a very bulky enterprise model, that's something completely separate that the schools have to support and back in order to bring into the classroom. So we're taking that same concept and saying, hey, we don't need to go that route. We can just inject it where the students are on Facebook. So I think that was kind of one of the big innovative keys to what we were doing early on, and kind of what generated a lot of excitement.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, and sort of also coming back to what Facebook was originally or meant for, being a student network and somewhat closed, or at least for a certain defined group of people. And
exactly.
Can you tell us or take us a little bit through the process of, even though we are not yet, or we are not in the app today, but how do students typically use it, and how do they find people working on the same problem? I suppose it is mainly done via their status updates then, but I guess you can tell us a little bit more of how it works.
Yeah, sure. So it's a Facebook application, which means it shows up on the left-hand side of your home page when you're in Facebook once you add the app. So it shows up with all those other apps that are on that side. And once you enter it, so once you click into it, what it does is it takes you away from your Facebook news feed, takes you away from the social news feed, your wall, all that stuff. And just inside of the little Facebook frame, you get a whole new interface. You get the Hoot interface. And the first thing that Hoot asks you is, it says up at the top, it says, what are you working on? And you can type in there, I'm working on calculus, I'm working on M408K, if that's the course designation. I need help on Pythagorean theorem, or I'm studying Shakespeare, and I want to talk about this specific topic. So you can type that into the bar, and once you do that, it will give you a list of recommended sessions. So it will show you if somebody's already in the session, if somebody's already discussed the topic, or it will say, invite your friends to create your session, so you can create a new session. So that's kind of the first step that we try to drive users towards. But if you don't want to do that, when you log into the app first, you'll also see live activity. So you'll see, it's actually a really cool node representation that we're really excited about, because it will give you a little node that you can hover over that shows the subject that people are working on, and then attached to the node, it shows you all the people, their Facebook profile pictures who are in that session right now. And then below that, it will show you a news feed of past study sessions. So you kind of get a quick overview of everything that's going on, and everything that gets shown to you is based on your network. So it's based on who is in school with you, who's subscribed to the similar university, college. So we try to nudge you towards the people who you already know in your offline life. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. When you say it's the school or university I am in, it's not that they necessarily all need to be my friends prior to using Hoot.me already.
Right. Well, it's okay. So we do show you everybody who's working in Hoot. So once you join Hoot, you kind of become a subset or a separate network inside of there. But the idea of nudging these people towards their universities is because we have their Facebook data. We know what school you go to. We know what network you subscribe to. So when we create these recommendations, we can say, okay, hey, this person's probably a classmate with you at this school, so we're going to show you what they're working on first before showing you what the rest of the world is working on. Now, if you want to know what the rest of the world is working on, you can do that by just searching for it, but it's not the first thing that we're going to show you. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Absolutely. Great. You touched on this a little bit in your previous answer, saying, we sort of out of our own interest, it was about a calculus problem. So what I also read, that it's promoted like this: you need like help in math, or you need a certain just hint, suggestion, whatever. Although I guess you can easily use it for any problem you have with homework, or I don't know, a report or something. So is it still that most of the students predominantly use it for math or science, or did it like quickly spread into almost any other topic that you get homework assigned on?
Yeah, it's quickly spreading into anything. We actually see a lot of language work on there as well. So there's been a lot of adoption actually out of Spanish-speaking countries. So we see sessions around linguistics. So it's not specifically tailored for the math and sciences. That's just something that we market because traditionally that's been a highly sought-after subject area for help. It's one of the most searched things on Google, things like that. And then also, we really wanted to promote that because nobody has really tackled integration online very effective from a collaboration standpoint. And by that I mean, one of the technologies that we built in these study sessions are what we call Smart Chat. And what that lets you do is type in math or chemistry equations in plain English. And what we'll do is we'll automatically reformat that, make it look the way it should. So, if you type in INT, it will automatically generate the integral for you. So that's something that we were just really excited about and wanted to promote, which is why we talk a lot about the math and sciences.
Yeah, and as you were so rightfully saying, math and sciences are like right up, then languages and liberal arts at the bottom. So it's probably the right way to promote it. And of course, for those formulas, I mean, it is in chemistry, physics, and math, so probably the smart chat function is then most useful in this if you cannot translate into another language or something yet, at least. And then you said there's quite some demand and interest coming from Spanish-speaking countries. So probably, unlike other services, I suppose you didn't target the universities like the officials or administrative bodies, but coming from the student side. So you went international right away?
Well, so actually we haven't done any specific targeting yet. Yesterday was our first day of targeting, but you're right in the fact that we're not going after the university officials themselves. Mm-hmm. And that's something that we're taking a little bit of a different approach on, because those cycles are very bulky and very cumbersome because of the bureaucracies involved in them. I mean, it's anywhere from a 1 to 2 year turn cycle if we go and try to set up these universities. Well, technology is moving way faster than even 1 or 2 years. So what we wanted to do was build something that was so light and so easily that could so easily be integrated, that all we had to do was tell the students about that and try to get the students to elect the software and the collaboration tools that they want to use. And then by virtue of the students' election, then the school, the university's adoption would shortly follow. So we kind of did that on two fronts. We said, okay, we're going to target the students, and then we're also going to go after the professors. So one of the things that we built in the application for the professors was what we call private study sessions. Mm-hmm. And that means that, like, let's say you're a teacher for an English class, Miss Johnson's English class. Well, she could go into the app and create a study session titled Miss Johnson's English Class. And what she'll do is once she enters the session, she'll get a little link. Mm-hmm. And she could share that link with all the students in her class. So she could send it out over Blackboard or whatever LMS system that they use to email and communicate with the system or with their students. And every student who comes into that session, only the kids who have that link can come in. And when they do, the teacher could facilitate a discussion on there. She could hold virtual office hours. So you could kind of have the content of perhaps an entire course for that class all contained, and the after-school mm-hmm. content all contained within this app, so to really kind of drive that collaboration. So that was one of the things that we did there. And then as far as just going after the students, the fact that they can work with each other and maybe find help and guidance from each other in this peer-to-peer network, that's very appealing on Facebook. So we've done targeted marketing campaigns on a couple of universities here in the U.S. and Canada. And actually our first university, really exciting, started yesterday. So our first school opened up yesterday. So we're really excited to see how things react over the next week or two with these really targeted approaches. But yeah, I mean, everything before this was completely organic, which was great.
Definitely, and congratulations to that. Personally, of course, you hear from academia much more criticism about Facebook, that they needed to have a more closed solution, as you were just suggesting in what you built for teachers use Facebook, and of course. All this discussion going on about privacy, Facebook. So I would say the student side, at least at the beginning, definitely seems to be less complicated for you to get traffic. But as you said, you pick up the students where they are, and yes, I mean almost anyone is on Facebook. So. Probably it should give universities and some officials something to think about, to really have a natural solution for engagement between student and teacher. And yeah,
absolutely. And that was one of the things that when we did those private sessions for the teachers, we wanted to make sure that the teachers had a way of communicating with their students without necessarily being Facebook friends with them, because most teachers don't really want to friend their students right off the bat. So that's why we gave them that link, so they could just send the link and they don't have to be Facebook friends with them. They could just come in. But Yeah, and it's interesting that Facebook and these social networks and things like Twitter even are so shunned upon in the classroom because really, quite frankly, the mentality is that students need to power off when they come into the classroom. That these are infinitely powerful devices and that they're just too powerful for students. And that's one of the things that, we beg to differ on, and I think over time, these teachers will want to adopt these technologies and want to teach their students how to harness the power of them. But you're right, it's baby steps right now.
But as you just said, I really hope for that to become a reality in the next month, maybe years. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit? Depends, but maybe you can share some numbers with us. How many students are currently actively using Hoot.me, or do they use it on a daily basis, or maybe when they have homework, so 2 or 3 times a week? Yeah.
Yeah, so school's just starting here in the U.S. Yesterday was the first day for many schools in the South and in the Midwest, and other universities and other schools don't even start for another week or even another month. So a lot of the engagement that we have on the site right now are students that are either interested and just want to learn a little bit more and figure out how they're going to use it when school starts. And then we also have a lot of teachers and early adopters on the site as well. So we picked up, we released a brand new version of the product in July, and that was kind of the first version that we really stuck out there and said, okay, we're out of beta, we want to promote this. And from July to August, we picked up 1,600 monthly active users really quickly, which is really exciting. We right now, are scaring close to 2,000, which is exciting as well.
Nice.
But again, most of the excitement around those numbers, is just the fact that school's not in session. So right now is when the real opportunity emerges to drive engagement on the site.
But it was probably wise to do so to really try it out and get feedback over the summer, and then when, as you said, the new semester and term starts, that it is really capable of all this demand and requests and works properly. So then,
exactly. I was just going to say a quick note on that too, that like the private study sessions, that was something that we didn't actually originally storyboard, so we didn't actually build that into the original product spec. But when we pushed out the app in July, we had a bunch of teachers tweet us, email us, and say, hey, we really want to use this for our classroom. Can you make private study sessions so it can just be my class in the session? And we said, okay, sure, and we built it in about 3 weeks. So.
Great. And where's the business at that? On the teacher side, the university side, or do you also think of some possibilities or exploring some possibilities on the student side?
So it's actually a combination. So what we want to do in about 6 months or so, we're going to roll out what we call a tutor marketplace. So if you're working with the students or your peers and you can't get the help that you need or you can't find it anywhere on the site, imagine being able to click a button and bringing in a professional tutor and being able to kind of drive the help and the engagement that way, paying a little bit for that. So it's not quite as much as a huge tutoring session, where I have to plan well in advance that I'm going to spend an hour with this tutor for all this money. But imagine being able to say, okay, I just need a little bit of help on this topic. I just need about 20 minutes, and I just want to pay about 20 minutes worth of time. So that's something that we want to enable here in the coming months.
And then also in an asynchronous way, so that the tutor helps via messaging or status updates, or do you then think of taking this into a more synchronous live environment that student and tutor would talk with one another?
Well, honestly, we're actually going to try to push both. So one of the first things that we want to try to push is this the synchronous, the live tutoring sessions. Just like imagine if you and I were holding a session right now and we were talking on a topic. So that's kind of what we want to facilitate, which is why it's important for us that we try to get as many people engaged on the site as possible, get to see how they react to it, get their feedback, and really try to tailor it for that environment first. And then from there, though, we also have the ability, and we had this discussion earlier offline, but of recording sessions. So imagine if a tutor who is very skilled in a particular topic wants to come on and record and pre-populate a study session on Shakespearean literature, you know, and I want to hold a whole session. I want to record that and log that, and then I consider that session a premium session, and I want to charge for that. And as the expert, I want to get a little bit of money off that. We're going to provide that.
Sort of really that I, as an interested student, could almost purchase this as a video or at least audio course. Right,
like an extra help session, you know, it's just study material, if you will.
Okay, definitely, I get it. Then sounds like an exciting 6-month period to come. We should, of course, not forget to mention all the connectivity. So the website itself is hoot.me. Otherwise, what are your outlets? How should people get in touch, or maybe where can they learn more about you?
Yeah, so you can go to the website, hoot.me, and click on Get Started, and that will take you directly to the app inside of Facebook. And once you add the app, it will always be in your Facebook there. So that's the first way to just go straight to the app. You can always reach out to us through Twitter. If you tweet us at the HootMe, we respond to those very quickly. You can also post on our Facebook wall as well, or send us an email at info@hoot.me, and we'll get back to you very quickly.
Great. I think then we have it all together. Well, thank you, Michael, so much for taking time and talk with me today. It was really fun, and I think HootMe, I definitely see the potential, and sounds exciting.
Thanks, Kristen. I really appreciate it.